how I make this style bottom.
So I'm using a pair of bottoms that I made or that you bought that you like the fit of, that you're going to basically use as a pattern and trace. It's also helpful for the pair that you're using as the pattern piece to be a similar material or have similar stretch to the fabric that you're using. So I'll start with my fabric folded in half and cut it out as if I'm doing half of the bottoms, so that way it's symmetrical. And so I will take my pattern piece bottoms, fold it in half as well, and line up the fold on the edge of the fold of the fabric. Trace and cut out basically the same shape as these bottoms in the new fabric. I'm gonna add seam allowance. I just estimate, but maybe around 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch along the legs. On the top, you need enough fabric so that it can fold over to house the elastic. So I'll do maybe 1.5 inches up this way, and I always add a few inches on the sides for seam allowance and just in case the stretch isn't the exact same as the pair of bottoms that I'm using. So after I basically have the shape of the front, I flip the bottoms this way and continue tracing the rest of the back. And then I like to flip the bottoms up again to basically trace this top part. I want this to be the same width because it's going to have to fold down the same amount the whole way around. So now that I have the shape of the bottoms, I'm going to unfold it and put it so that the front and back are facing one another. And I'm going to sew both of the hips down with a straight stitch. So now that both of those are sewed down, I put the bottoms on to make sure they can get over my hips and that they're not too big. So I tried them on again, and with it folded to account for seam allowance, I like how it fit. So now I'm going to do that same fold again and pin it and actually sew it this time with a zigzag stitch. So now with the leg holes hemmed, I tried it on again to make sure I like the fit. And because of the fabric that this is, I actually don't like, I don't know if you can see how it's like wavy here. So it's kind of gapping just a little bit. I'm going to take some swimwear elastic and just sew that along the edge of the hem as well. On the wrong side of the fabric, I'm just lining the elastic up with where I had hemmed. And I'm going to do a few stitches and then back stitch with the zigzag. Anytime you're using elastic, use a zigzag stitch. And then I'll just pull it slightly as I sew the rest of the way around. Next, I'm going to fold down the top, and it's going to be wide enough so that you can fit elastic through there. And we're going to sew all the way around with a zigzag stitch, leaving a space open so that we can thread the elastic through. So I cut out a piece of elastic by just putting it around my waist with having it pulled a little bit so that it will be tight and having about 1 inch of it overlapping. And I'm going to use a safety pin to just thread it through that channel that I just made. All the way through with it overlapped a bit, I'm going to sew this down with a zigzag stitch. Now with that sewed, I'm going to pull it into the channel and close up the opening that we had left before.
And that is